Welcome and good morning to Mike Ferry TV. The week of December 10th, the holidays are right around the corner. We have a lot to do individually between now and that time. Obviously, a lot to do does not include Christmas parties, Christmas shopping, taking days off. A lot to do revolves around the work you're going to do to keep your business active and strong between now and December 31st. Last week, I referred to 12 steps in relationship to what we call a normal market. If you go to MikeFerry.com, there is a report that I have written, which I would like you to download. It's called Mike Ferry's 2019 Market Report. I'd like you to download it. It's 6 or 7 pages. I'd like you to read it. I'd like you to study it. I'd like you to understand it. If you have questions, send me a note and I'll try to explain it. This report can be used in a variety of ways. First of all, most importantly, to help you understand what 2019 is going to be all about for you and I as residential real estate people. That's really important. And to sit down with your broker, your manager, if you have a coach, and discuss the report and its effects, positive and negative, on you and what you're trying to accomplish. I had a conversation about 10 days ago with one of our coaches, Kristen Hamilton, out of Northern California. And she had, of course, read the report, and she said, "Mike, can I use it in more ways than just for myself?" I said, well, this report can be used if you're on a listing presentation and you're working with a seller that's unrealistic in pricing. Hard to believe that you could have a seller unrealistic in pricing. Read it, understand it, show them some of the normal parts of what they're experiencing to help them price it. It could be used, I told Kristen, for price reductions. Very important, because if you're looking at a price reduction, which in today's market, there's more and more price reductions than we've had probably in 5 or 6 years, this can back it up and take the emphasis of you being the tough person on the price and put it on Mike Ferry, which is fine. But then I said to Kristen, third, this is a great report to share with your database, your past client centers of influence. If you're doing the kind of job which we expect you to do with them, then, of course, this report comes in handy because it's information that will influence your database in a very positive manner in relationship to you. We want you to look good, look strong, look professional in the eyes of your database. So what I did then is I picked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points for us to discuss today in relationship to your past client centers of influence. And I think the biggest thing that I try to stress is that if you're not working that database, which is two-faced, past clients and then centers of influence, and centers of influence being people you know who understand you, understand the business you're in, generally like you, trust you, in some cases love you if they're friends and relatives. These are people that should be a good source of business for you as long as you are a professional salesperson. The past clients, of course, have already had an experience with you. And if you're not contacting both these parties all the time, naturally somebody else who's out involved in lead generation could be talking to your past client centers of influence, therefore getting referrals from them and therefore getting possibly a transaction from them. I don't think there's anything more discouraging for a good real estate person like yourself than to be driving down the street and you're near one of your past clients that you had sold a home to and you see a for sale sign of a competitor. And then you go, darn it, how could they do that to me? And of course, the truth is we didn't follow up. And we don't follow up because there was a problem. So let's look at 7 thoughts in relationship to your database that I want you to think seriously about between now, December 10th, and the end of this month. Because this is the best time to contact all of your database. Thank you. It's been great working with you this past year. It's been great communicating with you. Is there anything I can do to help you buy or sell, or anybody you know? So here's what I wrote down first. Treat your past clients, centers of influence, with respect, because they're an asset that allows your business to grow. Every business has certain assets. You're a real estate entrepreneur. You have a business that you own. Whether you do a handful of deals or a lot of deals, you have a business you own. A business is always built upon the respect you have with and from and that respect you give to the people you deal with the most. So therefore, I always say to every good real estate agent like yourself, treat them with a high level of respect. Give them valuable information when you communicate and talk to them. Yes, they may be your friend, maybe a relative, but everybody talks about real estate. Everybody understands real estate. Everybody communicates about real estate. You want to be the resource real estate center for your database. Number 2, I wrote down, don't hesitate to call the ones you haven't spoke to in a while, whether it be a neighbor or a friend, maybe there was a falling out, or a past client. Because we know the last couple of years, towards the end of a transaction, it's not uncommon for a transaction to get a little sideways, get a little screwed up. It happens all the time. Title company, mortgage company, escrow company, insurance policies, something could go haywire. The other broker didn't communicate, the buyer got hesitant, you didn't do your job right. You got to be talking to those people. And I have a simple script, okay? You call a past client where there was a problem, haven't talked to them in 6 months. You call, they answer the phone. Hi, this is Mike. I owe you an apology. And they go, what for? Well, we had some problems at the end of the transaction. I want to apologize. They're going to 99.999% of the time say, oh, don't even worry about it. And you're right back into a normal conversation. I wrote down third thought. We have to speak in person, on the phone, conversation, not text, not email, okay, not a letter, actual conversation, okay, at their front door on the phone with all of them at least 4 times a year. A real conversation. Now, some of you say, well, I text. Give me a break, okay? I blog to them. Give me a break. They're my Facebook friends. I contact them through Facebook. Watch. Human contact creates transactions. I think most of you finally have gotten the message now that yes, you could get a deal off Facebook. No question about it. But the human contact, the human conversation is what creates the transaction. 4 times a year. Okay, then I wrote down next, then you're going to send them a personal note or a postcard 4 times a year. And I have a simple little opening. Just want to remind you that I'm still in real estate. Who do you know that wants to buy or sell? And let me give you some information about the community, about the town, about the neighborhood, about what's going on. Then I wrote down next, if you're not going to call them 4 times a year, or you're not going to send them something 4 times a year, expect the fact that they're going to deal with somebody else. So take them out of your database. Quit fooling yourself. You don't have 150 names. You might only have 70. Okay? And then I wrote, now next, always make these calls with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Because the world we live in is unfortunately a negative world. And if we can be very positive, excited, energetic, enthusiastic in talking to the people that like you, love you, and trust you, have done business with you, that's what they want from us all the time. But then the last thought I want to give you, there's a certain number of people in your database today. Let's say you have 400 names. There's a handful, could be 10, 20, 30, 40, that would give you good, solid referrals every year. So what I'm going to ask you to do between now and Christmas is go through every name. I don't care if you have 30, 100, 400, or 4,000. Go through every name. And if you have a check mark next to a name, it means that person, through communication, would give you at least one good referral every year. And I'll bet every one of us watching this Mike Ferry TV today has either a handful or a couple dozen that would give you a referral all the time. With those people, communicate with them 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe every month in 2019. These are people that are open and willing to working with you. So I want all of you to download Mike Ferry's 2019 report. It's on our website, MikeFerry.com. Print it, read it, study it, use it with your past clients, centers of influence. Use it on a listing presentation. Use it to get a price reduction. Clean up your database dramatically between now and December 31st. It's going to be a fun 3 weeks. Not only is it we have a holiday season, but it's a fun 3 weeks because you're going to be one of the few that's working and doing deals. Talk to you next week. Thanks for today.